Yeah, so such an interesting and journey, and Will, and I suppose what's really helpful for a lot of our colleagues is that it's not a straight line, and sometimes that's all we see when we see people as successful as yourself. But there's lots of little bumps and things that fate throws at us along that journey. And it's interesting that you're saying that, you know, what's of interest to you now more so maybe at this stage is this focus on inclusion, and we'll talk a little bit about proactivity and maybe positive academia as we go out throughout the hour that we have together. But maybe talk a little bit more about what do you mean or what do you see as inclusion in academia, what that looks like and what it should look like.
Yeah, that's a good question, because we all use the word quite easily, but mean very different things with it. I see academia, inclusion in academia as really seeing variety in academia, not just being tolerated, but actively encouraged and appreciated. So that means that academics from different demographic backgrounds can feel they really belong in the world of academia, that they have access to the right information and resources, but also able to influence decision-making in their own organizations. So that really looks at it at the individual level, but inclusion doesn't just apply to individuals. It can also apply to, for instance, disciplines or even universities. And I see the common denominator here as not taking the current majority group as the default against which everything else is evaluated. So if I look at my own career, I've mainly focused on three areas. So first, the demographic characteristics. So that could be age, ethnicity, gender, or native language. And in this sense, I be perfectly honest, 50+ white male native English speaking academics are currently still the dominant group. But also, if we look at disciplines, we see that the sciences and the life sciences have often been used as the default against which a lot of other disciplines, and that includes engineering, but also the humanities and the social sciences, are evaluated. But even if we look at the universities, we all tend to focus on the elite research institutions, and they are held up as some sort of gold standard that the other 99.9% of the institutions in the world are expected to emulate. So it's all about majority minority groups.
Absolutely. And I suppose what's interesting is, you know, as professors, we can get, as we move through our careers, we can focus a lot on different areas, and we're pulled across, I suppose, research and teaching and service. And sometimes we, you know, throw ourselves into the research maybe. But why has inclusion been so important for you?
Yeah, I guess it differs a bit in the different areas that I've been involved with. I really see my work in inclusion in two areas: research evaluation, broadly speaking, and then supporting female academics and early career academics. If I look at research evaluation, my motivation, honestly, originated very pragmatically and directly from my own needs. Both the journal quality list and the publisher Paris software, they were a very pragmatic response to seeing my own promotion prospects frustrated. That's the honest truth. My research on bibliometrics in the social sciences, that covers new data sources such as Google Scholar, but also new metrics that I have designed and tested. That was really to accommodate disciplinary differences. And that was really a response to what I was seeing in the way the social sciences were really systematically undervalued in many countries that I worked in. And so those were all very pragmatic. I would say my support for women and early career researchers, that comes mainly from a desire to ensure that the next generation of academics receive the support that I feel I've probably missed early on in my career. So that's more through personal experience.
Yeah,